Today, let's dive into the fascinating archaeological site of Nineveh. To understand its significance, we need to travel back to the mid-1800s. Without its mention in the Bible, Nineveh might have faded into obscurity. The Bible's stories drove people to search for and eventually uncover its ruins. In Mosul, Iraq, where ISIS had its headquarters in 2014 to 2015, leaving much of the city in ruins, you can see the ancient remains of Nineveh, a testament to how archaeology can confirm the Bible's reliability. Nineveh, situated on the Tigris River in northern Mesopotamia, is described in the book of Jonah. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. Jonah 1 verse 2. The British explorer Claudius Rich visited Nineveh's ruins in the 1820s, providing detailed descriptions. He noted the city's walls appeared as natural hills. Excavations in the mid-1800s revealed the city's vast walls, matching biblical descriptions. Jonah 3 verse 3 NIV states, "Now Nineveh was a very large city. It took 3 days to go through it." These inner and outer city walls confirm Nineveh's great size, supporting the biblical account of a large city with over 120,000 people. West of the ancient city flows the Tigris River, and within the ruins lie two mounds. The smaller, Nebi Yunus, means the prophet Jonah in Arabic. This ties to the Bible, where God had compassion on Nineveh and sent Jonah to warn of impending destruction. Jonah's story was likely well known, lending credibility to his warning, leading to the city's repentance and temporary salvation. Later, Nineveh became the Assyrian Empire's capital. A mosque once stood atop Nebi Yunus, but ISIS destroyed it in 2014, uncovering an older church below. In 1830, British Colonel Robert Taylor found a six-sided prism inscribed in cuneiform at Nebi Yunus. Now in the British Museum, this Taylor prism's discovery initially puzzled scholars due to its undecipherable script. Northwest of Nebi Yunus, a larger mound, Kuyunjik, lies near the Kozer River. Identifying these ruins as Nineveh required excavation. In 1849, British adventurer Austin Henry Layard began digging at Kuyunjik, uncovering monumental buildings, thus firmly establishing the site's identity as the biblical Nineveh. The largest palace ever excavated began to be unearthed when an archaeologist recognized promising surface material and decided to dig. He immediately discovered the ruins of a vast palace complex. Inside the mud brick walls of the palace were slabs of gypsum, intricately carved with scenes of hunting, military campaigns, and the king's accomplishments. These carvings, pressed against the walls, displayed statues, people, gods, and inscriptions. As Layard's team continued, they uncovered about 2 miles of these walls, often shipping well-preserved reliefs to the British Museum. While excavating, Layard's team found a central courtyard leading to a monumental hallway guarded by 2 massive human-headed winged bulls. His detailed top plan of the palace helped match the ruins to their original layout. As they delved deeper, they discovered the showroom at the end of the hallway, lined with stone reliefs depicting a city's siege. Layard's research and the inscriptions revealed that this palace belonged to the Assyrian king Sennacherib. The Bible mentions Sennacherib's return to Nineveh, 2 Kings 19 verse 36. His inscriptions also document his siege of Lachish and other cities in Judah, aligning with the biblical account in Isaiah 36 verse 1. This discovery confirmed that Layard had unearthed the palace of Sennacherib in ancient Nineveh, providing a direct link to the biblical narrative. Imagine standing in an ancient battlefield, where olives fall like the people and cities that once thrived. The prophet Isaiah uses the image of olives being beaten from trees as a powerful metaphor for the Assyrian invasion of Judah. This vivid comparison symbolizes the death and destruction brought upon Judah's people and cities by the Assyrian army. The Bible provides numerous references to this event, such as in Isaiah 17 verses 6 to 7. Yet some gleanings will remain, as when an olive tree is beaten, leaving 2 or 3 olives on the topmost branches, 4 or 5 on the fruitful boughs, illustrating the devastating impact of the invasion. This siege is further detailed in historical records and archaeological finds, creating a vivid picture of the tragic fall of Judah's cities. The grandeur and horror of this historical event come to life through the stone reliefs found in King Sennacherib's palace in Nineveh. Visible at the end of the long hall in the palace, the reliefs depict the Assyrian siege of Lachish, a city in Judah, which was conquered in 701 BC. The Bible corroborates this in 2 Chronicles 32 verse 9. Later, when Sennacherib king of Assyria and all his forces were laying siege to Lachish, he sent his officers to Jerusalem with this message for Hezekiah king of Judah and for all the people of Judah who were there. This dramatic event is highlighted by the discovery of the Assyrian siege ramp at Lachish in 1973, a massive pile of stones used to breach the city walls. Standing at the excavation site today, one can still see the remnants of the ramp, a silent testament to the fierce battle fought there. Imagining the Judeans' terror as the undefeated Assyrian army set up camp and began their relentless assault, it becomes clear why this moment in history is so deeply etched in both biblical and archaeological records. The fall of Lachish left Jerusalem as the last fortified city in Judah, setting the stage for another dramatic confrontation with the Assyrian forces. Imagine if the mighty Assyrian army captured Jerusalem. God's promise of a future Messiah from these people would be broken. But God didn't let that happen. Instead, he performed a miraculous deliverance. According to 2 Kings 19 verses 35 to 36, that night the angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 in the Assyrian camp. When the people got up the next morning, there were all the dead bodies. So Sennacherib king of Assyria broke camp and withdrew. He returned to Nineveh and stayed there. Sennacherib, the Assyrian king, boasted about many conquests but never about capturing Jerusalem, which is evident in his inscriptions. Despite his brags, Jerusalem remained unconquered, and his palace displayed the city of Lachish instead. This is backed by both the Bible and archaeological evidence, showing that Jerusalem was the one city the Assyrians couldn't conquer. This extraordinary survival of Jerusalem amid the Assyrian Empire's widespread victories highlights a significant miracle. The destruction of Nineveh was also prophesied in the Bible. Zephaniah 2 verses 13 to 15 foretold, "He will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, leaving Nineveh utterly desolate and dry as the desert. Flocks and herds will lie down there." This prophecy came true in 612 BC when the Babylonians and their allies destroyed Nineveh, leaving it in ruins. This historical and archaeological evidence aligns with biblical records, confirming that the events, places, and people mentioned in the Bible were real. These findings are essential because they validate the Bible's accounts and teachings. Isaiah 24 verse 13 warns of a global judgment, comparing it to the beating of an olive tree. This serves as a reminder to avoid the fate of proud Nineveh and instead emulate the repentance shown by the Ninevites during Jonah's time. Jesus, referencing Jonah, said in Matthew 12 verses 39 to 41, "A wicked and adulterous generation asks for a sign, but none will be given it except the sign of the prophet Jonah."
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.